I found a phone recording me while I slept. I used to think the worst thing about living alone was the silence. I was wrong. The worst thing is hearing a sound in the middle of the night and realizing the silence was never real. This happened about 6 months ago when I moved into a small apartment on the edge of the city. It was cheap, recently renovated, and only 10 minutes from my job. The building itself was old, but my apartment looked new. White walls, grey floors, modern kitchen cabinets. The landlord told me the previous tenant had left suddenly because of family problems. At the time, I didn't care. I was 26, exhausted from work, and just happy to have a place of my own. For the first 2 weeks, everything was normal. Then I started waking up at exactly 3:17 in the morning. Not around that time. Exactly 3:17. Every night. Sometimes I woke because I thought I heard the floor creak in the hallway. Other times it sounded like someone lightly touching the bedroom door. Not knocking, just pressing a finger against it. I checked the apartment every time. The door was locked. The windows were closed. Nothing was missing. I blamed the building. Old pipes. Neighbors. Heating system. Normal explanations. Then one morning, I noticed my bedroom door was open. I always slept with it closed. I remembered closing it the night before because the hallway light from the street made it difficult to sleep. But now it was open about 10 inches. I got out of bed and checked the front door. Still locked. The chain was still attached. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. That evening, I placed a chair under the bedroom door handle. It was stupid because the door opened inward, but I wanted to know whether someone had moved it. The next morning, the chair was exactly where I left it. For 3 nights, nothing happened. Then I found the phone. I was cleaning beneath my bed when my hand touched something taped to the wooden frame. At first, I thought it was an old remote control. It was a small black smartphone. No case. No SIM card. The screen was cracked in one corner. It had been taped beneath the bed, with the camera facing outward, toward the room. I sat on the floor staring at it for almost a minute. Then the screen lit up. The battery was at 63%. That meant someone had charged it recently. I almost dropped it. There were no contacts, messages, or installed social media apps. Just the basic system applications and a folder called Records. Inside were dozens of videos. The first video had been recorded 12 days earlier. The day after I moved in. I pressed play. The camera showed my bedroom from under the bed. I could see my feet walking down. I watched myself change clothes, turn off the light, and climb into bed. The recording continued for 7 hours. Nothing happened until 3:17. At exactly 3:17, my bedroom door slowly opened. A person entered. I couldn't see their face, only their legs. They were wearing dark pants and black socks. They stood beside my bed for almost 4 minutes, just standing there, watching me sleep. Then they crouched down. Their face came close to the camera, but the video was too dark to see any details. I heard breathing, slow and controlled. Then the person reached beneath the bed and stopped the recording. I don't remember deciding to leave the apartment. One moment I was sitting on the floor. The next, I was outside the building calling the police. 2 officers arrived 20 minutes later. They searched the apartment carefully. There were no signs of forced entry, no hidden person, no damaged locks. They watched part of the video and took the phone as evidence. One officer suggested that the landlord or a former tenant might still have a key. The landlord came to the building that afternoon. He looked genuinely shocked. He changed the front door lock immediately and promised that nobody else had a copy. I didn't sleep there that night. I stayed with a co-worker named Daniel. The next morning, the police called. They had checked the phone. There were 47 recordings. Most showed me sleeping, but the oldest recording wasn't from my bedroom. It showed a different apartment, different furniture, different walls. A young woman was asleep on a couch. The person recording stood behind her for nearly an hour. The police believed the phone had belonged to someone who had done this before. I asked if the woman was the previous tenant. They said they didn't know. The landlord claimed the previous tenant had been a man in his 40s. I decided to move out. I returned that afternoon with Daniel to collect my clothes and electronics. The apartment felt different now, smaller. Like every wall had moved closer. While Daniel packed the kitchen, I checked the bedroom one last time. I looked under the bed. Nothing. Then I noticed a small rectangular mark on the wooden floor near the closet. The flooring there was slightly raised. I pressed down. It moved. Daniel helped me lift the panel. Underneath was a shallow space between the floorboards. Inside were several items wrapped in plastic. A set of keys, 3 memory cards, a wallet, and printed photographs. The first photo showed the woman from the video. She was standing outside the apartment building. The second photo showed another woman entering a grocery store. The third showed me. I was sitting in my car outside my office. The photograph had been taken before I moved into the apartment. On the back, someone had written, "Lives alone, sleeps heavily, no family nearby." Daniel read it twice. Then he looked at me and said, "This wasn't random." We called the police again. This time, they treated the apartment like a crime scene. They took everything from beneath the floor. One of the memory cards contained videos of at least 5 different people, all asleep, all filmed inside their homes. The police questioned the landlord for hours. He insisted he knew nothing. They searched his apartment and found nothing connecting him to the recordings. The keys from beneath my floor opened several doors in the building. The basement, the roof, to empty apartments, and a maintenance room behind the elevator. Inside that room, police found a narrow opening in the wall. It led into a system of old service passages running between several apartments. The passages had been built decades ago for pipes and electrical work. Most had been sealed during renovation. There was an opening behind my bedroom closet, a removable panel covered by wallpaper. Someone could enter my apartment without touching the front door. That person had probably been watching me from inside the walls. Police found blankets, canned food, water bottles, batteries, and a charger inside the passage. They also found a notebook. It contained names, work schedules, apartment numbers, and notes about sleeping habits. My name was on the final page. The police never found the person who wrote it. The landlord sold the building 2 months later. I moved to another part of the city. New building, security cameras, electronic locks. For a while, I slept with the lights on. Eventually, things started returning to normal. Then, 3 weeks ago, I woke up at 3:17 in the morning. I was sure I had heard something, a soft vibration, coming from beneath the bed. I turned on the lamp. There was nothing there. I checked every room, locked every door. When I returned to bed, my phone screen was glowing. I had received a message from an unknown number. It contained a video. The video showed me walking through my new apartment. It had been recorded from inside the bedroom closet. At the end of the video, the camera moved closer to the closet door. A man whispered, "You should stop checking under the bed.